What's up, y'all boys? It's your boy Big Brazy Malik back at it again with another banger, another hit video, man. I'm doing it big on this one, guys. So it's another tutorial, but I'm gonna do the tutorial a little bit different, you guys. I'm not gonna actually narrate it. Not a hard cut. Same things a lot of the barbers are doing out there, but I want to give some motivation because at the end of the day, what you need to be a barber is discipline. Discipline is the number one thing you need as a barber, and I want you guys to be able to watch this, but also learn. You know what I'm saying? Get motivated, get out there and go crazy. So here again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out, guys. And remember, let's be disciplined. Let's take our dreams to the next level, guys. Let's reach the dreams we have. Because if you have that dream, hey, it's for you. It's for you. And for you and you only. But the difference between our dreams and making them reality is discipline. So let's get to the video.
Of all the subjects we've covered so far and are about to cover, none is more important than covering the disciplines for success. What's at the core of achieving the good life? The major key to the good life. The major key is not in learning how to set goals. It is not in learning how to better manage your time. It is not in mastering the attributes of leadership. Every day in 1,000 different ways, we are trying to improve ourselves by learning how to do things. We spend a lifetime gathering knowledge in classrooms, in textbooks, in experiences. Now, if knowledge is power, if knowledge is the forerunner to success, then why do we fall short of our objectives? Why, in spite of all our knowledge and in spite of our collective experiences, do we find ourselves aimlessly wandering, settling for a life of existence rather than a life of substance? There may be many answers to this question. Your answers may be different than your associates or your spouses or your friends. While there may be many answers to this question, the fundamental answer is the absence of discipline. Applying all that we know. That's the key word, discipline. Self-discipline. We might add one more word here, consistent. Consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are or how much you know if you don't use it. It doesn't really matter that you graduated magna cum laude if you're stuck in a low-paying job. It doesn't really matter if you attended every seminar that comes to town if you don't apply what you've learned. Better than knowledge is applied knowledge. And once we've applied our knowledge, we must study the results of that process. Apply our knowledge, study the results, refine our approach. Finally, by trying and observing and refining and trying again, our knowledge will inevitably produce worthy results, admirable results. And with the joy and results of our efforts, we continue to apply, to learn, to observe, to fuel our ambition with the positive reinforcement of continued progress. Pretty soon, we'll find that we're swept into a spiral of achievement, a vertical rise to success. And the ecstasy of that total experience makes for a life of triumph over tragedy, dullness, and mediocrity. But for this whole process to work for us, we must first master the art of discipline, self-discipline, consistent self-discipline. It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals, to master the art of time management, to master the art of leadership, to master the art of parenting and relationships. If we don't make consistent self-discipline part of our daily lives, the results we seek will be sporadic and elusive. It takes a consistent effort to truly manage our valuable time, or we'll be consistently frustrated. Our time will be eaten up by others whose demands are stronger than our own. It takes discipline to conquer the nagging voices in our minds, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of poverty, the fear of a broken heart. It takes discipline to keep trying when that nagging voice within us brings up the possibility of failure. It takes discipline to admit our errors and recognize our limitations. The voice of the human ego speaks to all of us. Sometimes the voice of ego says that we should magnify our value beyond our results. It leads us to exaggerate, to not be totally honest. It takes discipline to be totally honest, both with ourselves and with others. Be certain of one thing, Every exaggeration of the truth, once detected by others, destroys our credibility and makes all that we say and do suspect. As soon as a business colleague figures out that we tend to exaggerate, guess what? They'll always think we exaggerate, and they'll never quite hold us in the same regard again. The tendency to exaggerate, distort, or even withhold the truth is an inherent part of all of us. And only an all-out, disciplined assault can overcome this tendency. It takes discipline to change a habit, because habits are formed a little bit each day, every day, every day. Once habits are formed, they act like a giant cable. They act like a nearly unbreakable instinct that only long-term disciplined activity can change. We must unweave every strand of the cable of habits slowly and methodically until the cable that once held us in bondage becomes nothing more than scattered strands of wire. It takes the consistent application of a new discipline, a more desirable one, to overcome one which is less desirable. It takes discipline to plan. It takes discipline to execute our plan. It takes discipline to look with full objectivity at the results of our applied plan. And it takes discipline to change either our plan or our method of executing that plan if the results are poor. It takes discipline to be firm when the world throws opinions at our feet. It takes discipline to ponder the value of someone else's opinion when our pride and our arrogance leads us to believe that we are the only ones with the answers. Discipline is a constant human awareness of the need for action and a conscious act by us to implement that action. Discipline is an awareness of the constant need for action and a conscious act to implement that action. If our awareness and our implementations occur at the same time, then we begin a valued sequence of disciplined activity. Now here's the other side of discipline. If there's considerable time that passes between the moment of awareness and the time of our implementation, then that is called procrastination. Doing it tomorrow instead of today. Procrastination, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now. Do it to the best of your ability, today, tomorrow, and always, until finally the worthy deed becomes instinctive. Procrastination says later, tomorrow, whenever I get a chance. Procrastination also says, do what is necessary to get by or to impress others. Do what you can, but not what you must. In every circumstance we face, we are constantly presented with these two choices. Do it now or do it later. Discipline and procrastination. A choice between a disciplined existence, bearing the fruit of achievement and contentment, or procrastination, the easy life for which the future will bear no fruit, only the bare branches of mediocrity. The rewards of a disciplined life are great, but they're often delayed until some time in the future. The rewards for the lack of discipline are immediate, but they are minor in comparison to the immeasurable rewards of consistent self-discipline. An immediate reward for lack of discipline is a fun day at the beach. A future reward of discipline is owning the beach. For most, we choose today's pleasure rather than tomorrow's fortune. So how can you get rid of the easy distractions? How can you keep your mind on what you're trying to do? How can you keep an attitude of doing it all and doing it now? How can you make the choice of discipline over procrastination? How can you stay focused on your ambitions? How can you avoid conversations at the water cooler? You can keep your focus on your work. You can get it done today instead of tomorrow. You've got to really work on your consistent self-discipline on a daily basis, or you'll find yourself distracted. Distracted by negative thoughts, distracted by negative people, distracted by water cooler chatter, and pretty soon, depending on the type of people you've associated with, distracted by your doubts within yourself. Never underestimate the power of influence and associations, and never underestimate the power of your own consistent self-discipline. Now let's take a closer look at discipline. True discipline is not the easiest option. Most people would rather sleep until 10 o'clock than get up at 6. It's easier to go to bed late, sleep late, show up late, leave early. It's easier not to read. It's easier to turn on the television than to open a book. It's easier to do just enough than to do it all. Waiting is always easier than acting. Trying is always easier than doing. Imagine what life would be like if we didn't have to make our bed in the morning, or keep our garage clean, or pay our taxes, or show up for work tomorrow. Wouldn't it be fascinating if we didn't have to do these things? Wouldn't it be fascinating? What do you suppose would become of us? You're right, not much. For whatever the reason, the system we live in and contribute to is designed to make the easiest things in life the most unprofitable. Profitable seems to be the most difficult. Our world is and always will be a constant battle between the life of ease and its momentary rewards and a life of discipline and its far more significant rewards. Each has its own price, the price of discipline or the price of regret. We will pay one or the other. What we wish we had done is the voice of regret, speaking in a sorrowful tone at a time when there is no going back. This is regret. No second chance. No what would I do differently. Choose one or the other, but both will have their price, the price of discipline or the price of regret. One costs pennies, the other a fortune. Dostoevsky said, "There are hundreds of young men who would die for the truth, but very few who would spend 5 years studying to know what the truth is."
Self-love is when you say to yourself, "Oh, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but that's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that." It's like you say to yourself, "Hey, man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like shit, and I love you too much to let you eat that." Self-love is, "Hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, And I know you really want to go out with your friends. It's Saturday night, you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You know, I love you too much to let you go out tonight. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
We tend to base our self-esteem on what other people think. And that's not really self-esteem. Self-esteem is supposed to be how we feel about ourselves. And I was just saying how dangerous it is to allow other people to determine how you're going to feel about you. And it's kind of like looking into a broken mirror. You're going to look in a broken mirror and then change your face to try to look good in this defiled, busted, broken mirror. And it just, other people's opinions is a really way to determine how we feel about ourselves.
It don't matter whose fault it is that something is broken if it's your responsibility to fix it. For example, it's not somebody's fault if their father was an abusive alcoholic, but it's for damn sure their responsibility to figure out how they're going to deal with those traumas and try to make a life out of it. It's not your fault if your partner cheated and ruined your marriage, but it is for damn sure your responsibility to figure out how to take that pain and how to overcome that and build a happy life for yourself. Fault and responsibility do not go together. It sucks, but they don't. When something is somebody's fault, we want them to suffer. We want them punished. We want them to pay. And we want it to be their responsibility to fix it, but that's not how it works, especially when it's your heart. Your heart, your life, your happiness is your responsibility and your responsibility alone. As long as we're pointing the finger and stuck in whose fault something is, we're jammed and trapped into victim mode. When you're in victim mode, you are stuck in suffering. The road to power is in taking responsibility. Your heart, your life, your happiness is your responsibility and your responsibility alone.
You can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh, but whether or not a person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control. The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame. Look at your last 5 text messages. Are those people feeding your flames or dousing your fire? Put your phone down for just a second and look around. Look to the people around you. Are those people throwing logs on your fire or are they pissing on it? I want my life, I want my work, my family, I want it to mean something. And it's like, if you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft.
You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes.
And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is.
How you can be more disciplined and consistent. 2 keys that are critical to success at anything pretty much, especially if you want to be a high achiever. You must be disciplined and consistent. What is discipline? Discipline is the ability to consistently do the same thing so that you may benefit. Hey, and because it's benefiting you, doesn't really matter to anybody else if you're disciplined. That's why no one's going to be there behind you pushing you. Now, there are a lot of folks who have all these quick schemes and like, hey, just try these 2 steps and your life will be better tomorrow. I'm here to tell you that discipline is one of the most difficult things you can do. And it is drudgery. It takes constant practice. It takes a mindset every day of saying, I am going to do this thing. Discipline comes from your emotions. That's what gets you to take action. And what drives the behaviors of human beings is fear, pain, and glory. That is being scared of things. You'll notice when people are scared, they will get moving, right? Like right now, if we were in a crowd of people and I start, people will start running their ass off, right? Even if they haven't went for a jog in years, they'll be jogging that time, won't they? Fear, that's one. Then pain. People take action to avoid pain. They don't go to the gym because they don't want to, engage in the pain, the disciplines of tearing your muscles, going through the suffering of the soreness, and then having to rebuild them. And then that last piece, I said glory, but what I really mean is reward. People do things to get rewards. I was just watching Forensic Files. Motherfucker killed his wife just to get the reward of the insurance money. So people will do things for fear, pain, and rewards, right? Either to avoid the fear, avoid the pain, or to gain the rewards. The question is, how can you leverage that reality psychologically to drive your own behaviors? Now, beyond the basic tips of telling you, put it in your calendar, look at your calendar, do it when it says do it. So for example, in your calendar, if it says workout at 9 a.m. and you wrote that or put that into your Google Calendar, you're supposed to do it. But hey, That's not going to get the job done, seeing it in your calendar. What you really need is a deeper motivation, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So the first key to discipline is being real. And every time I talk to you about something, I say, let's always start from what is real. A major tenet of Marquettism is to acknowledge reality. Because if you're not in the real world, you can't get anything done in the real world. So the first thing is, who are you? You have to be real with who you actually are. Some people would say, you can do anything. I'm here to tell you, you can't do anything. You know how much talent you have to be a 6-foot NBA player? Now, maybe if I was 6'8", I could play in the NBA because low-key, your boy's jumper is hella wet. But being that I'm only 6 foot, the amount of talent I have, I don't have it. So that is unrealistic for me. I say that to say, when we're talking about discipline, I would like to be a morning exerciser. I would. The truth is, I'm a night person. I get my energy starts going up and up and up as the day goes on. For me, exercising in the afternoon or the evening or late at night works a lot better for me. So when I go about being disciplined, yes, I can discipline myself to exercise every day, but the amount of energy it takes Marquette Devon Burton to exercise every day in the morning is radically different from exercising every day in the evening. So that's point one where I start, which is acknowledging the reality that it's easier for me to exercise at night. And among all the struggles in my life, I'd rather not engage in the struggle of making myself a morning person when really I'm a night person, right? So that's the first key, is be realistic. Yes, it takes a lot of discipline to exercise every day. That's the part I'm going to struggle with. Not when, not is it in the morning or in the evening. So that's part one, acknowledge who you are. So don't struggle too much against yourself. Here's number two. In acknowledging your true traits, what trait can you use to leverage to make you drive harder toward whatever goal? A lot of people struggle with their fitness goals. So for example, me, I am fiercely competitive and I have a psychological complex that makes me think I should be winning at everything, that I'm the best, that I'm better than whoever you're talking about. That's my psychological issue. One time, I kid you not, I had a dream that I played Michael Jordan one-on-one in basketball, and I won. I was just sitting at my dining table when I was looking out the window. It's snowing right now, and there's a guy out jogging in the snow, and I was thinking, he think he harder than I am? He think he go harder than I go. He's trying to jog in the snow. Okay, I'm gonna have to go do 5 miles in the snow if he think he harder than I am. Me, I'm a real competitor. You dig? I'm on the treadmill. Oh, this guy thinks he's running fast. Let me go up to 12 miles per hour. You dig? I know that I'm a basket case and I can leverage that to push myself harder, which means that as soon as I put myself around an example of excellence, I want to exceed it. I have that quality. If you don't have it, you can't leverage that. What I'm telling you is find out what qualities you do have and try to leverage that quality to push yourself to the next level. Do you dig? Let the church say amen, hallelujah, tabernacle, cha-cha. This is tip number 2, sex transmutation. You want to keep in your bodily fluids such as semen. Sex is an exhausting thing and masturbation is a depressing thing. Both of those things I'd recommend you engage in as little as possible. So for example, masturbation, engage in it never if possible. And then sex, engage in it as little as possible. Meaning you don't want to be knocking it down 2-3 times a day. That's going to drain your energy. Method Man told you pussy makes you lazy. And it's true. So you want to keep in your bodily fluids. You will be more vigorous. And you know what? You'll have more drive and more desire. If you study Freudian psychology, sex motivates us to do a lot of things. You keep that desire inside of you unsatiated, you will be stronger, faster, more motivated. You'll be a go-getter. You'll be the true hunter that man is meant to be. You're sitting at home every day with your wife, getting some sloppy toppy or whatever it is, that's going to slow you down and drain you. Tip number 3, inspiration.
big. Thanks guys for watching this video, man. Thank y'all for all staying around, man. It's your boy Big Brazy Malik back at it again. And guys, I just want you guys to like, subscribe, comment again on the video if you like it, guys. And if you like this type of video, I'll keep doing it more and more and more. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Signing out. Your boy Big Brazy.